Good evening, Dr. Reed. How does it feel to be this evening's...
It's quite unsettling. As a doc...
Do not be alarmed. The Ascalon Club has a tried and tested policy.
May I ask who you are, sir?
Why would you be interested?
Well, as you seem to be the only man in the room with a beating heart, you draw quite a bit of attention yourself.
Ah. Vampire senses never cease to fascinate me. They dwarf those of mere mortals. I am Aloysius Dawson.
Are you a member of the...
Yes, I am. And I have been for many years.
What can you tell me about it?
It's not really my place to give you such information. I am merely a mortal member, and a dying one at that.
Are you sick?
Personally, I consider my advancing years are a sickness in itself. My body is slowly abandoning me, Dr. Reed.
Are you not afraid? You are surrounded by vampires.
Sir, it's for that very reason that I joined the club in the first place.
Is not the nature of this club a secret shared by only a privileged few?
My dear Dr. Reed, I have spent years and a fortune precisely to gather that kind of information.
So you asked for members?
I have been a member of many clubs in many countries. But I must admit, this one is my favorite.
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave?
I would not dare speak of our chairman without his consent.
Mr. Dawson, of Dawson and Dawson, the wealthiest man in England. It is a pleasure to meet such
A withering London figurehead, to be precise. My case is beyond the scope of traditional medicine. I have spent fortunes on the world's most competent doctors to arrive at that diagnostic conclusion.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Should I...
Absolutely not. I'm here to implement my plan to save the city.
What do you know about the Guard of
I should not say this, but I admire...
But they are...
They are not mine, Dr. Reed.
Would you help them?
No. There is a time for such methods, but brute force...
What is the situation like?
I am sure Lord Redgrave will enlighten you more effectively than I.
Money cannot solve every problem. This mysterious epidemic is going to require more than money can buy.
You're right. Money is nothing unless one has the will to wield it. I have a plan, sir. A radical one.
What is your plan, then?
Quarantine and barricades are futile. What we need is a wall. A formidable, unscalable...
Complete isolation has proven effective throughout history.
I am glad you understand the concept of net...
Are you not mistaking sacrifice for summary...
Why do you care? Are you not a vampire? Removed from all mortal concerns? Decisive... Welcome to the Ascalon. Well, Doctor, I'm sure you have more important things than talking with an old man like myself.
Welcome to the Ascalon Club, then, Dr. Reed.
I think Lord Redgrave just suggested I was sired by an ancient vampire.
Good evening, Miss Ashbury.
And good evening to you, Doctor.
What do you think about this part of town?
I was raised here, and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Is there something that's bothering you?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste. Even when there was no...
Even if that's partly true, may I
I
remind...
suppose you are right. But society must...
Yes, I was born...
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her?
You won't trick me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck. Oh, are you...
Tell me about your...
What do you want to know?
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised me and has taken care of me all my life. I have no idea who my progenitors are or were.
Do you live with her?
I still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live, you see. And one day...
How did you meet?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word is Ekon, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
What are you doing out here?
You mean what do I do outside at night since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same...
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all...
Are you a suffragette, then? Oh, you really are Elizabeth's girl. Without a doubt.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia.
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte. I have shared...
Really? Oh. Now I see why my mother appreciates...
How are the locals reacting to your claims?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady. And who is this Emily?
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to...
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try...
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might...
What exactly?
Your name and profession, obviously. And the mystery about your maker. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your sister, sir. Mother says it was not your fault.
Does it not scare you to know what I am? What your mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reed? Or you?
Yes, you should.
You can't be Wait. Good one, Dr. Reed. You almost got me.
Glad you found it amusing.
I will, Dr. Reed. Thank you for your...
Do you know why Lady Ashbury chose you to become her daughter?
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How was it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual recently?
A few days ago, I spotted a strange house while campaigning for women's suffrage. Awful smell. No answer when I knocked.
Where is it?
It's the Mullaneys, a nice family who live in a big house near the park in the eastern part of this neighborhood.
Goodbye, Charlotte.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Good evening, sir. May I have your attention, please?
Come on, Johnny. Don't you recognize your oldest friend?
Clarence. Clarence Crossley. How are you? My God. So you survived the war too. So sorry I didn't recognize you at first.
I almost didn't recognize you either. War does that to men, I heard. In my case, it was true, for I witnessed the horror that lies underneath.
When did you escape the war and return to London?
You know what's funny? I almost never think about the war. Not anymore. I'm involved in another kind of battle now.
I know what you mean.
Of course. With the epidemic, I bet you've been busy as well. Forgive me, Johnny, I didn't want to sound selfish.
What is this new battle?
I saw terrible things during the war.
How is your wife, Venus?
We've spent so much time away from each other.
But you're alive. You returned in...
Believe me, it's not quite that simple.
Is everything all right at home? Surely Venus...
Have you forgot what people are like in this part of town, Johnny?
I'm investigating the...
Infection is everywhere these days. But if you...
Yes? What about the Mullaneys?
Not enough noise for a big family with children.
You need... Good evening, sir. Please forgive me for disturbing you. I'm a doctor.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. And you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit, it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Reed.
Welcome, Dr. Reed. Welcome to my humble shop.
How is the situation in this part of town?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress and wonders.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure.
You cannot expect the newspaper...
Well, that's news then.
What can you tell me about this place?
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address if you want.
I must confess, I have quite...
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new exotic...
Finding a good restaurant? Is that really all that interests you? Is it not a little too late to be trading?
On the contrary, it is the perfect...
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir.
So you prefer to work at night?
Oh, I also enjoy a sunny day like everybody else.
Do you have any family nearby?
Not...
London's Lone Gourmet. What a strange title.
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I kept it.
Really? But you seem to be such a pleasant and sociable fellow.
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not...
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic.
Not really. Wait, now that you mention...
Thank you. It may be nothing.
They have a house in the southern part of the district.
I may have a look. Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan? I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reed expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reed is very...
The police? What happened?
Miss Reed was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's
Has she received appropriate...
I'm taking care of Miss Reed myself.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France.
I'm afraid Miss Reed is too frail.
What is the situation?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting...
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir. But
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I am sorry.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan.
I'm currently investigating sources of the epidemic in this part of town.
Not really. Except all the MacPhersons' servants.
The MacPhersons? Where do they live?
I think it's a rich house near the railway bridge.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you...
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go.
This house is dead, Avery.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But
You have served this family extremely well.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral.
Do you really think I don't take enough care?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say.
I know you work hard to help the sick. But what will you do once the epidemic is over?
I really don't know. I have always...
I understand, Mr. Jonathan. But you have to realize that your mother needs you. Your next step...
Goodbye.
Of course, Mr. John.
right here, Mother. I'm finally home.
Yes, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary?
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return?
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father...
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think...
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes.
Tell me, Mother, how are you? All alone in this big house with only Avery to take care of you.
I'm sad most of the time. Sad that you have left me here alone. Sad that you don't tell me when you come or go.
I'm so sorry, Mother. It wasn't supposed to be like this.
What happened, Johnny?
I lost my way.
You should have told me, Johnny. I would have
Do you need anything?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise.
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that.
Do you think Avery is right?
I don't blame you. But you abandoned me, son.
I know I have failed you since I...
You don't have to apologize to me, Johnny.
Have I changed that much, Mother?
You are still, and you'll all...
Are you working on a new...
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject, and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent...
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes...
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother...
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not...
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes.
But I'm not dead, Mother.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell...
Goodbye.
Goodbye, son. Jonathan, my dear, bring me my glasses. I feel like we...
I remember Sunday walks in the park.
Summer in France. Absolutely. Why not?
Good
I may have a...
His name. You cannot forget his name.
Good evening, miss. Can I help you? I'm a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I am...
Miss, you don't seem well at all.
No, it's me who bites them.
What happened to you?
The rats. The answer hides in...
Miss Billow, please, try to concentrate. Why do you...
the voice in my head. He forces me to do so.
Tell me about the voice.
Keep your mouth shut, he said. Don't ever...
Do you feel compelled to obey that voice?
Yes.
What is the local...
Shadows. Shadows hunting shadows. Whispers in the dark. Pestilence. Suffering.
Tell me about yourself, Miss Billow.
Oh, I'm hungry.
Don't you remember who you are, miss?
I was... strong.
Tell me about vampires, Karina.
He promised he would help me. Give me immortality.
Who is he? How did you meet him?
I can't...
Karina, I order you to...
Don't you dare interfere with my game, Ekon.
Who are you? Reveal yourself. Let this woman be.
Why? What would be the fun in that? It's so...
This vampire is...
Help me, please, Dr. Reed. Help.
I'm investigating this...
Infection. Infection. The rats carry it, I heard. Rats. Rats, rats. Many rats around that big house. Funny smell, too. Dead flesh.
And where is this house?
West of the park. Not very far. A big house with no sound, no light, no life left.
I must... Why are vampire hunters sniffing around here? I need to find out what they're after. I can't believe I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood. Maybe there's a way to break into... this house. This is despicable. I have this thirst for blood. I can't believe I'm doing this.
I have this thirst for blood. I can't believe I'm doing this. This is despicable.
I'm here on my own, sir. I have no official...
Then we have the same objective, sir. The difference is,
What can you tell me about...
I'm the one asking questions, especially when there's a killer on the loose.
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that with the civilians, sir.
Haven't I told you?
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this.
And what about the epidemic?
We both know...
What are you really...
I told you. I'm a detective inspector from Scotland.
Do you work alone?
Yes, the situation is difficult for the police.
What about the situation in the East End? Why are there...
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to...
Why are you in...
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know.
No,
All right.
Tell me all you know.
I'm not even sure there is only one.
How could different killers inflict the same...
That's my main problem. If my theory...
What are you...
I have a missing woman, possibly abducted a few...
Tell me about Louise.
She's a waitress. Her father...
Do you have any idea where she...
No. But I feel...
Do you know anything?
Who doesn't know the man? I think he intervened...
What else can you tell me about him?
Aloysius Dawson is exactly the kind of powerful and
What are you in...
I have a missing...
Tell me about...
She's a wait...
Do you... Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed.
Dr. Reed? Dr.
Is there anything wrong?
No, it's just... Your name...
I think I would remember.
That's odd. I'm certain I've already heard of you. My name...
I'm afraid not, sir. But it's a pleasure...
The pleasure is mine.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Baker.
We are waiting. Waiting for someone.
And why are you waiting for this person?
Because we need to leave this city. As soon...
Why do you want to leave the city?
I'm not really
Can you tell me anything about this district?
As you like asking.
Please, be my guest.
Do you like this city?
I know we are not living...
Yes, me too. This city...
But what if we don't like
Do we ever know who we are?
And what do you...
I stopped working when I decided to leave.
Tell me more.
I just don't belong here anymore.
But what were you doing?
Does it really matter anymore?
Who are you waiting for?
I really can't answer that question, since I don't know them.
And why is that?
This person is mostly my brother's acquaintance. I don't even...
But why would you need this person's help?
Well, I thought we should have left this cursed...
What can you
I've heard this is a man who has searched for his...
Goodbye, Mr. Good evening, sir.
Yes, please.
That's all you need to know.
Well, is it not important to know? As important as where...
I suppose you're right. And...
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like my brother...
May I ask...
I don't know. You should ask my brother instead.
You must have your own idea.
From what I have managed to understand...
May I ask why you've not gone already, if you're so exasperated by this long wait?
I believe fear is holding us back.
What can you tell me?
It's the only place I've considered myself happy.
Why is that?
Because I'm not feeling happy here anymore.
I still enjoy...
Then I am sincerely happy for you.
What can you tell me about...
He's older than me, I think. But the important thing is that I really hope I'll die before him.
Is that all?
Pericles is very attached to this city.
Who are you?
The more I think about it, the more I believe it's not exactly a...
But what else could it be then?
I don't know. A feeling?
I'm afraid...
Have you ever felt like life trapped you in a role that...
Trap? And you think leaving...
At least it will give us the chance to be free.
What can you tell me?
You should ask that question to my brother instead. Personally, I've not seen Alois...
Goodbye. It's locked.
Doctor?
Goodbye, Detective.
Goodbye, Dr. Jonathan.
Seems violence and madness are now contagious.
Dr. Reed.
Good evening, Miss Price. I'm Dr. Reed.
Dr. Reed? Yes, of course. You are...
Good to see you too, Carol.
Oh, yes. I did not hurt...
Why are you away?
I am helping my mother in her shop. It's not easy.
I'm sure your mother is grateful for your...
I do the best I can. But I'm so clumsy sometimes.
Why is work not easy?
Oh no, most people are gentle with me. But I'm so nervous sometimes.
What can you tell...
I don't speak to many people, except our customers.
What can you tell me?
Some of our regular customers have left London. Some others only send their house...
Have you no friends at all?
No. Mr. Nithercote used to...
Does he not come by anymore?
No. Mum said he was weird. Always reciting poetry about a girl he'd met in...
Do you enjoy working with your mother?
Oh yes, Doctor. My mother raised me alone after my father died.
Do you remember your father?
No, I was just a baby then. My mum...
Do you ever think about getting married, now you're a woman?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. Mum always says I'm still a child who has no idea how tough life can be.
Do you enjoy...
Oh yes, Doctor.
Have you ever met the famous Aloysius Dawson?
Yes. A very strange man. Not very nice.
What do you mean?
He said he was ready to pay good money for rare books.
Have you ever...
Yeah.
What do you mean?
He said he was...
Goodbye, Carol.
Dr. Reed, I am glad.
It's locked, all right. It's locked, all right.
Good evening, Miss Price.
Dr. Reed, I didn't know you had returned from the war.
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my...
What can you tell me about yourself, Miss...
I'm still managing my shop. The only...
Really?
Don't get me wrong, Dr. Reed, you're still handsome.
Tell me more about yourself. No new fiancé?
Who would marry an old bat like myself with a grown daughter and a little business? As you know, I only fancy handsome.
Carol's gratitude is exemplary.
I'm taking care of my daughter as well as I can. It's not always easy, but she's the best gift life gave me.
But she'll probably leave you someday to live her own life.
Why would she leave? Children...
Have you noticed anything?
Other than you coming back to cheer me up?
Does your daughter still worry you, Miss Price? I remember you were...
Have you not seen Carol since you returned?
So you're less afraid?
Some things never change. Carol is still...
Why would her...
She does not realize how cruel life can be.
You have every reason to be cautious, Miss Price.
Maybe you could talk with her, Dr. Reed. It would be nice to have...
May I...
It's always a pleasure to have you here, Dr. Reed. I hope you can stay a little longer this...
Good evening.
You know you can call...
Do you know Aloysius Dawson?
Everybody knows him. He's a...
Did he buy something from you?
No, he left quickly. He almost laughed at my goods. Mr. Dawson may be a rich man, but you can't buy good manners.
But isn't Aloysius Dawson known for his philanthropy?
That was before his brother Robert died in an aeroplane crash. Since...
Good...
Longer this time.
Good evening, young...
My mother always prefers when people...
Goodbye.
I am sorry, I can't help you, sir. Perhaps...
Good evening.
You know you...
Do you...
Everybody...
Did he buy...
No, he...
But isn't...
That was before...
Good...
I hope you can stay a little longer this time.
Jonathan Reed.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood.
Primate.
of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise.
The cards told you to expect me.
Yes, they can tell me everything. They told me that you have not taken another life since your poor sister.
What can you tell me about?
I really don't know. I don't often go out.
So you see nothing in the stars for me? You're a...
Oh, I can tell you many things, but they will only...
Do the cards speak of...
No. It's the burning orb.
Read my fortune.
You have been chosen, Jonathan. I see on you...
Tell me about yourself.
I'm for most a charlatan. For a few, I'm a vampire. And for you, I'm the primate of St. Paul's Stole.
Some believe you to be a...
The guard of Priwen, who else? For a time, they sent...
Did they steal anything from you?
A personal notebook they quickly took to their headquarters.
Do you want your notebook back?
If you ever find it, I'd be glad to have it back, of course.
For how long have you been...
It was 15 years last year.
What do you make of Dr. Swansea?
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated...
Can you read the card?
Are you sure you want to know what they will reveal? It will cost you 150
Perhaps... How do you measure the amount of blood on...
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well...
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
All right.
You're on a path to redemption, Jonathan.
That doesn't sound promising.
Take this, young Ekon, as a personal...
I would rather... How do you...
I told you.
Is it possible?
A vampire's fate is much more...
How did you learn about...
Swansea told me. Don't...
She could have survived as a vampire.
Not all vampires accept their new condition.
I could have saved her.
No, Jonathan.
May I ask you about the Brotherhood? Who founded?
That's precisely the kind of question I cannot answer.
So you're not just a club of academics and scholars?
Once upon a time, very long ago...
I know there is no love lost between the Guard of...
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger then. A strength that made them hungry for ever greater power.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered themselves the legitimate heirs of the original Brotherhood. We divide up the books, the relics, not...
Is there an...
Aloysius Dawson. Yes, of course.
He's not the only one. It's been quite the fact.
True. Aloysius was a member of the Golden Dawn until 1900.
Goodbye.
I rarely wander. Cards never lie, but they are never easy to read.
It's locked, all right. It's locked, all right.
We should be far from town already. All right. But where would we go? Anywhere. Anywhere that isn't here. And what is that, by the way? A safer place? A less strange place? And where would that be? Life is strange. And we are alive. For now, yes. But for how long? If we decided to flee, we should be far from town already. All right. But where would we go?
I cannot enter.